Hey everybody, this is Timothy Miller here with Kathleen Zuelch with Roosterteeth and other stuff just in general.
Yes.
But you have been with Roosterteeth for a long time.
12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the very beginning.
Yeah, where did you start at Roosterteeth? Let's start there.
Well, originally I was working on Clifford the Big Red Dog, the film, and I was a associate producer on that, and Matt Hullum was working on it with me, and he was, I actually hired him back in those days, and so he came to me and he showed me this show that he and his buddies were working on, and called Red versus Blue, and I watched it, and I said, that's really good, but you guys need a tough chick, and I want to do the voice. And he's like, really? You'd want to do a voice? I'm like, yeah. And so he talked to Bernie, and Tex at the time, if you remember, had the voice filter, so they didn't know what they were going to do, if it was going to be a male or female. And so once Matt talked to him, Bernie was like, this is great, we'll make her be a woman. And so that's how that came about, and it was just for fun. You know, I was like, hey, I want to be who doesn't want to be their alter ego and be like some tough person? So yeah, I was producing, film, and this was just a little side hobby, fun thing.
Yeah, so it was just something that whenever you saw it kind of excited you and decided you wanted to do it. And 12 years later, clearly you really liked it. Yeah. Yeah,
it's been a ride. It's been a great ride, though. I mean,
what's just one of your favorite kind of moments going through all this time?
The thing that jumps out is in 2005, Gus and I went to Chicago for a convention, and it was during the World Series, and it was the Chicago White Sox. And I just said, that's my bucket list. I'd really like to be able to go one day. And I don't know what he paid, but he went online and bought tickets, and he and I went to the World Series that night, and I was like, this is phenomenal. It was like the best memory. And that's where I got my tattoo that year of the Roosterteeth logo on my hip. And so that was like one of the best times I've ever had.
That sounds really cool. I've never heard that story. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
So 12 years later, what are you doing now for Roosterteeth? Because you're a lot more involved than you were.
You know what? Yeah, I am and I'm not. So for 2.5 years, I was produced season 10 and 11 of Red vs. Blue, and the first season of Ruby, and then all the live action. We did the Gauntlet season 1 and all of that. And I'm really looking towards branching out, and I want to do more public speaking and more teaching, maybe inspirational kind of motivational talk. That's where my passion is. So I've been doing production for 19 years, and it's not that cool thing that it used to be. If I had my own project to work on, it would be different. But yeah, so I'm fielding options. Let's put it that way.
In limbo.
Yeah,
so to
a little
speak.
bit. Yeah, crossroads. Yeah, definitely at a crossroads.
Well, I'll strike my thought for a second. I'm sorry, it's the second time today. Let me roll this back in.
Okay.
Okay. So, 12 years.
Yeah.
RTX has not been going on for quite that long. How exciting has it been? You were talking about how you guys went to conventions all the time and everything. How exciting has it been to see this convention become as big as it has?
It's a little surreal, and we used to laugh about it, joke about it. When we'd go to these other conventions, we should have our own convention, and it didn't seem real. I think ours is molding into a really phenomenal convention, and I think in the next 5 years you're going to see it mold into something even more special. I think for us only having it 3 years in the convention center, it's very well organized. The exhibitors are fantastic exhibitors, and it's only going to get bigger. So there's going to be some growth, but I think we're going to iron out all those kind of long line issues. And I mean, it's tough to have panels, and kids want to go see this person, but then they can't because they have this other panel. So it's working all that kind of stuff out, make it a little smoother.
Did you think 10 years ago that Red vs. Blue would ever become something like this? Did you see the potential in it at the beginning, or was it just...
Not at all. When I realized, holy crap, we've got something, was after the first season, Bernie, we all flew to New York, and we had a screening at the Lincoln Center. And it was the first season was going to be screened there. So that was the first time I met everybody. I had never met them in person because I was just doing the voiceover by phone.
Yeah, Bernie tells stories about how he used to hang the mic over a speakerphone.
Oh yeah, I mean it was I would just do it into the phone because back then they didn't have the technology to make it sound like I was in the helmet or whatever. So doing it over the phone made it perfect. But we went to Lincoln Center, and it was sold out, and the kids were lined up all the way around, and we're all like, okay, we all had day jobs at the time, it wasn't just doing Rooster Teeth stuff, and it was amazing. We brought one box of, it was 250 DVDs, and we sat for 2.5 hours signing autographs, and we sold out. And that's when I was like, Houston, we got something good here. No, it was pretty exciting. So,
just as it's grown, what has been kind of the hardest thing you think for Rooster Teeth? You know, this because you guys are growing very fast, especially now.
I think the hardest thing is staying the communication. I think it's difficult when you started out with just like 5 guys, and then now you have like 50 and then 70, depending on what kind of production you're on. It's maintaining that core communication, and so that's still growing pains. I think that there's a lot to be learned about the communication process, but I think overall they're just kind of going with the flow, and sometimes that's the best way to do it. You know what I mean? It's if you think about it too much, then I think your thought process gets in the way of it all. So I think they're at this point, the sky's the limit, and that's the way to go for it.
I think it helps that I really believe that Rooster Teeth just has one of the most positive communities, and I think RTX is a really great example.
Right. The community is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Ruby, you were really involved in, as you said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
How exciting has it been to see people just kind of latch onto it? They love Ruby, and it's really bringing even more fans to Rooster Teeth in general.
Yeah, I love it because it really speaks to the girl population. Mm-hmm. The 4 girls are great that do the main voices. I love them. I mean, they're good good girls, and I think that it's great for us to have that kind of diversity in our fan base. So I'm really happy that it's gotten popular. And I think the guys that write it are very talented. I mean, the whole team, you know what I mean? And it's taken everybody into a whole nother world. And I'm happy that we've had that diversity.
Did you expect whenever, as you saw these people starting to latch onto Ruby, did you expect them to, a lot of like the girls they've latched onto Achievement Hunter as well?
Yeah.
They found did you expect to see stuff like that as well?
I hope to. That was what I hoped, because the reality is there's a lot of girl gamers out there, and it's I don't want the girls to be afraid of it. So it's kind of nice that we brought him in. That was like the gateway. And we have Lindsay that's an Achievement Hunter, and she's part of Ruby, and so it's hopefully role model wise, the girls are like, wow, look what I can I can be a gamer, but I can also do this over here. So it's I think it's good for the young people to see that.
I think that's great. And also I'm just curious, did you game or do you game?
I did. My son, I have a son who grew up with all of this, mm-hmm. and he's 24 now, but he still plays on his Xbox, which is, But so when he was younger, I mean, I played Nintendo. I was a gamer. I mean, I had Pong. Like, I'm that old. Like, my family, my dad bought Pong for us, and then we had Atari, and then I had Centipede, and I played Space Invaders. So as a kid, total gamer in all those dorky games that I played. And then we had Nintendo 64, I loved Mario, and then I played with my son. And now, I mean, I watch it more than anything else. You know what I mean? It's like I have an Xbox at my house so that I can get on and talk to people and play with the fans once in a while. But it's more for my son, because he'll come over and make my gaming score just go, shoo. Everybody's like, oh my God, you're level 8 or whatever. I'm like, yeah.
Some artificial inflation.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it's good though.
So, just out of curiosity, what's your favorite game?
I always really enjoyed Call of Duty.
Really?
I was the best. I was best at that. Halo, I wasn't really the best, but Call of Duty, I loved being that covert, like crazy person who's like going through. And I wasn't a camper. I mean, I'd get in there. I die a lot, but I like that. It's probably like my favorite.
See, I'm terrible at Call of Duty and incredibly frustrated easily. So it's tears is all Call of Duty brings. Yeah, I play story-based games, so I don't have to cry when I get beat by other people. Yeah, I'm a terrible loser.
If I had more time, I'd do story-based games. Like if I probably had them when I was a kid, because it takes time, right?
Yeah, like JRPGs are stupid wastes of time that I just absolutely love. It's a problem.
That's okay.
So you started out in movie production.
Yes.
Is that, I guess, where you planned at the time to just stay? Is that?
Let's see. Well, when I changed over and started doing all of the animations, that was my goal, and I just wanted to be the best that I could be. Mm-hmm. And I feel as though I learned and I've done so much in those 19 years of working in production, and I absolutely I love it. I do love it. I just don't like the politics anymore. I don't want to have to do the long hours. Like, I really would rather have quality of life, you know, and just kind of be able to be with family and friends and things like that. But I thrive on it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, my expertise and what people know me for in Los Angeles is really creating pipelines, and that's why they brought me to Roosterteeth, so I could create the pipeline, 3D pipeline for, you know, season 10 to be done in Maya. And then we did the pipeline that was a totally different pipeline for Ruby. So the technical, I love it. I love all the nuts and bolts. That's what I love, and I love working with the artist and being on the floor and, you know, help creating the magic.
Well, it seems like you have a very accomplished career as far as I'm concerned. And I think it makes sense that you'd want to go out and speak to people and be an inspiration to people, especially you were talking about, you know, girls who want to be gamers and they want to work in things like this.
Exactly.
The better I mean, you're a great role model because you've been in this industry for a long time now, and also you are pushing forward with Ruby and things like that.
Yeah.
I guess pushing more girls or bringing more girls into this kind of fan base.
Well, that's what I hope for. So, you know, hopefully it'll start getting out there, and there'll be a buzz, and it'll be like, hey, we want Kathleen to come and talk to our, you know, class and whatever. It's just, you know, it's figuring out how to get out there and make that happen.
Do you have anything going already? Like, is there somewhere people can go and look and see, like, book a Kathleen?
Well, you know what? I do have a website, and I am going to put together like a kind of a talking type informational thing that people could say, hey, okay, we would like to book you for such and such. So it's KathleenZuelch.com, and I think
it's pulled up on my phone right now. Actually.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. In the upcoming months, you know, I'm going to refine it and get some more information out there so that there is a place that people can go and find out. So.
Well, good.
Yeah.
And I think all of this sounds great. And
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate you giving us your time.
My pleasure. I love talking to you. So.
Awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Is there anything you'd like to go?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I do have one more question, actually. Okay. How do you feel about the Rooster Teeth movie? That's a big deal. Bernie Burns is a movie guy. Matt Holmes is a movie guy.
Yeah. Well, all I know is I need a cameo in it. But other than that, no, I think it's fantastic. And I've seen, you know, when I was that was one of the projects that I worked on before I left the office, and it's a great story. Like I'm real excited because I was kind of, you know, reading the script and knowing what's going to happen. You
should tell us what it's about.
It's worth it. Yeah, I should get the ending.
Yeah, I want to know.
It's so worth it, and it's gonna be really good.
Good. Well, thank you so much for your time, and
pleasure.
I hope we get to do this again next year.
Sounds good.
And sorry again about
Same
interview
time
last
next year.
Sounds great.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.